Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monkey, and it's been a couple of days. Sorry about that, you guys. Did Was Monkey playing the stairs again? No. I don't fall down the stairs that much anymore, guys. That's a weird thing to say. Mostly, I stumble. My legs haven't ghosted me in a long time, which is great and makes me think that was because of the damn medicine. Instead, what happens is I'll get a really sharp pain, which is easier to recover from than, not being able to feel your leg at all. But no, I've had a pain in my neck, and if I move my neck wrong or my arm wrong, it feels like somebody stabbing me on the inside. The skin is fine. I was telling my wife about it. She's like, maybe you need lotion. I'm like, no. It's not the skin that feels cut. It feels like there's a deep cut inside my neck. And it makes sitting up and talking hard. So we just haven't done it. We had the two convention speeches of probably the most important people on the convention stage, with Tim Walz on Wednesday and then Kamala on Thursday. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I sat here and I waited. I'm like, I could either watch this shit that has been boring the ever-loving piss out of me, or I could not. And I went with not. That's what it came down to. I haven't done much of anything. I've watched a lot of TV. I even tried playing video games and couldn't do much because when you can't move your arms, video games become a little bit of a problem. But I'm feeling a little better today, and we have more exciting stuff to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw, but RFK Jr. has endorsed Donald Trump. Dun, dun, dun. It was expected. We saw, I think it was Thursday, maybe Wednesday night, that I first saw talk of him ending his campaign and possibly endorsing Trump. And before we go any further, I need to get this out of the way. I don't like RFK Jr. Before we do that, though, I was asked if I would sing for Chaos. Chaos, it's your birthday. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chaos. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great one. I really, really do. It's my anniversary's tomorrow, you guys. I said to Lady Monkey, I think yesterday, hey, our anniversary's coming up in a week. And she goes, it's Sunday. I'm like, what day is this? I thought it was the 18th and it was like the 22nd. I'm like, well, I lost almost a whole week there. That's what politics will do to you. But yeah, 31 years tomorrow. Is it 31 years? How old am I? It's been a long damn time. That's how long it's been. We were married in 93. So yeah, it'd be 31 years, right? 31 years. I've been married longer than most people on the internet have been alive. Anyhow, let's talk about RFK Jr. I don't like the guy. I don't. And just because I saw Mike Harlow tweet out that it's a good thing, all the anti-establishment folks coming together. And I kind of get it. I do. Give Lady Monkey our condolences. Stop it. It's not about whether you like RFK or Trump. It's about what they will do for the country. And I hear you, but they're talking about making RFK Jr. The rumor is that Trump's going to make him the CIA director, which there's some irony there. But do you really want the guy who once said people should be locked up for denying global warming to be in charge of the CIA? I mean, I hear it. I get it. He's grown, reportedly. He's changed his mind a little bit about some stuff, and that's fine. But he is the dirty liberal that I've always fought against. And just because he's on our side with Trump, I can't get on. Look, hey, yeah, push Trump. I don't want him anywhere near any kind of real power. I really don't. Because the man once said people should be jailed for climate change. And he was talking about politics. He was talking about Congress people when he said it. He thought it was a damn shame that there was no way to jail them for not being on his side. I can't be the only one that sees the irony in Trump celebrating this guy, right? RFK Jr. wants global warming deniers locked up. All the more reason for him to be drummed out of politics. Yeah, yeah. Look, if it helps get Trump elected and keep that fucking commie Kamala out, I'm fine. But I don't want him in any real position of power. I really don't. Because I don't trust the kind of people who ever have that mindset. I really don't. How do you come back from that mindset? Am I wrong on this? It's kind of like why I never trusted Candace Owens. You know what I mean? I mean, she starts off with her bullshit about social autopsy and we're going to dox children for being mean to people online. How do you ever have that kind of mentality and have enough of a change to where you're like, no, we should be free everywhere without going through something massive, without some major upheaval in your life? You know what I mean? Typically, people don't change. I know nobody wants to hear that because we all want to believe we can better ourselves, blah, blah, blah. But typically, when there is a massive change in somebody where they better their life for whatever reason, it's because something bad has happened. You've suffered some consequence that has made you completely change your way of thinking. And in RFK Jr.'s case, it's that he ran for president. I mean, to be fair, the woman that wants to confiscate guns and patents thinks RFK doesn't fit her agenda. It does raise questions of what his views are now. Okay, make no mistake about this. The reason that they're doing this to RFK before he ever endorsed Trump, the reason they didn't like him is that he dared have the nerve to run against Joe Biden. That was it. It's the same reason they hate Trump. Trump is more liberal than most people want to admit. Trump is a New York liberal. He is. He's got a few more conservative ideas, but for the most part, he would have fit in with the Clinton years. And that is considered conservative today is kind of scary, but I guess I'll take what I can get. But these people don't hate Trump for his policies. I saw Ranting Feminist. For the first time in forever, I saw one of her tweets today. She was responding to somebody talking about how the Democrats have embraced, and it's weird that I saw that because I had this discussion in person today, but that they've embraced the Republicans' wall nonsense and they're getting xenophobic. They're not. They're not. They're actually going back to how they were before Trump, because before Trump, most of them were out there talking about how illegal immigration was a problem. They were out there like, no, even DACA, because she brings up DACA specifically. They brought us DACA. Do you guys remember when the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, that's what DACA stands for, when that was put into place? Do you remember that there was a limit on it? It wasn't just coming here as a minor. It was if you came here as a minor before this date. Before this date. Anybody after doesn't get DACA. That was supposed to be how it was. New children arriving, it didn't count. You got to go back home. But now it's like, oh, if a kid comes here, they're dreamers. They're dreamers. If you go back, I mean, even Obama, who gives us DACA, is on record going, illegal is a fucking problem. We got to do something about this. And it wasn't until Trump gets in there and dared run against Her Highness Hillary Clinton that suddenly this guy who's on their side on most things has become the most evil thing ever, including his damn border protection crap. Fuck right off. The truth of the matter is most liberals should be voting for Donald Trump. Tell me what, because of his tax policy? He's even said on the abortion issue, it should be left up to the states, which means he's okay with abortion. He's not out there trying. They're trying desperately to tie that to him. He's a horrible, horrible abortion guy. He said he made it so you can't have abortions. There were more abortions in 2023 than in 2022. After Roe gets taken away, there's more abortions. But Trump, he made it so you can't have abortions no more. No, he didn't. You're fucking liars, and you're falling for really stupid shit that the press is telling you. Stop listening to the press. They're horrible. We'll get to that later. But first, let's talk about RFK Jr. and the pussy fucking Democrats. You bitches, man. I have been actually a little shocked. Not a lot shocked because I don't have much faith in the press to begin with. But at the reaction to all of this and how the Democrats have kind of painted all this shit, not because they're dirty little shitbags, because of course they are, but because they're hiding behind Kennedy's family instead of just coming out and going, hey, I don't like that you endorsed Trump. Kennedy's siblings rip RFK Jr. for endorsing Trump, a betrayal of family values. Dun, dun, dun. Which family values? I'm fairly certain that, if I remember correctly, John Kennedy was famously the first Irish Catholic president in this country. And if I remember correctly, how did Catholics feel about abortion? I mean, until very recently. What was the official line on abortion? John Kennedy would not fit as a liberal today. He would not fit as a Democrat in today's world, because that is how fucked the system has got. That John Kennedy would be a fucking Republican today. Evolved Potato, thank you. Put RFK in charge of the Department of Education. Fuck. Thank you, Evolved. Put RFK Jr. in charge of the Department of Education 5 minutes before it's scrapped. Look, if they want to put him, somebody said earlier, transportation. Yeah, put him in charge of transportation. I'm fine with that. That's nothing to worry about. I anywhere he can cause actual problems, and there's way too many parts of our government where that's a possibility. But thank you for that donation, Evolved. Oh, and I had one from Retro earlier. Retro, I'm sorry, I saw this when it came through, but I was in the middle of ranting, and I am so sorry. Thank you, Retro. That's very, very kind of you. Sorry, some last minute present money to keep you out of trouble. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I'm again, not that I missed it, because I did see it. I'm sorry I forgot to read it at the time. This is dirty. Instead of just coming out and saying that they don't like what he did, they're all hiding behind his family. Every goddamn story I read about this, like, his family says he sucks. His family hates him. His family wasn't happy with him running in the first place. Y'all know that, right? Because there were stories written about that too. That his family, like, just get on board with Joe. I mean Kamala, with Kamala. This isn't new to begin with. His family's been dogging him for a while, and if I remember correctly, it really starts over COVID, specifically COVID vaccines, because Bobby Kennedy Jr. there is anti-vaccine, or at least has a lot of questions about vaccines. I want to put it that way. I don't want to say he's anti-vax, but he does have questions about vaccines and about how the government protects the manufacturers and the changes that have been made to how vaccines are administered and all of that. But his family's been against him because of that for a long time. Just the vaccine hesitancy to begin with. And then when COVID comes along and he just doesn't suck right up to Biden, like, oh my God. Thank you, Richard. Hey, man, just got out of rehab for alcohol. Missed your streams. Man, love you. And the other guy, haha, sincerely love him. Oh, we all love Jack. Sorry to hear about your stint in rehab. I hope it's going well. I hope you're recovering okay. if you just like the taste and don't want to get actually drunk, I've always found that the Diet Coke from McDonald's has an alcohol taste, but no alcohol. RFK nailed vaccine madness. He did. Anyway, members of Robert Kennedy Jr.'s extended family called it a betrayal of the values of our father. Yeah, Bobby Kennedy wouldn't be a Democrat today either. The value of our father and our family hold most dear. On Friday, after the independent candidate announced he was endorsing Trump, we want an America filled with hope and fuck off. We want an America filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future, Kerry Kennedy, who wrote in a statement alongside 4 of Kennedy's siblings. We believe in Harrison Walz. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. Oh, for the love of fuck. Dangerous, thank you so very much, man. I look forward to hearing the Kennedys morally lecturing the rest of the country and then declare the Democrat the party of women. I guess the media couldn't get Mary Jo. You said her full fucking name. I can't. Kopnick? Hey, Jack.
Hey.
How do you say Mary Jo? What's her name's last name? The one that Eddie Kennedy killed.
Fuck, I don't know if I ever knew that offhand.
I've heard it before and I just can't think of it. Real quick, but let me finish this.
I'll look it up.
I guess the media couldn't get Mary Jo for an interview. I know how to spell it, guys. I don't know how to say it. Kopney? What? That doesn't sound right.
Kopke? Something like
Kopechny.
that.
Kopechny. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Thank you for that donation, Dangerous. Yeah, when it comes to family values, there's nothing like a dead woman in a car as you run and call your lawyer when she was probably still alive. Y'all know that, right? She was probably still alive and she slowly drowned.
Yeah, she totally drowned.
Anyway, Jack, how are you, my friend?
Let's not talk about me. How you doing?
Let's not talk about me either. Right now, we're talking about how dirty it is. These fucking Democrats don't have the balls to just come out and criticize Kennedy. Instead, all of them are hiding behind. Even the Kennedy family thinks he sucks.
Yeah.
How fucking dirty is that, man?
It's pathetic.
It's gross. Anyway, where are we? It's a sad ending to a sad story, they added. All right, I'm just going to be really on the up and up with you. I don't give a fuck what the Kennedys think.
What?
I know. John died in the television age, and that immortalized him as our king. He wasn't. He was an elected official. I think what happened to him was fucked up, and I can't imagine what his family went through. And then with the murder of Bobby 5 years later. Yeah, I'm sure it sucked, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but they're not special.
How dare you? Oh my God. Oh man. Everybody that grew up in that era of Camelot is spinning in their old folks' wheelchairs right now, in their hover rounds.
They're all still living high off the hog because their great grandpa ran liquor for the mob. Why are we pretending that this family is like somehow noble?
Because it was Camelot.
Remember when Teddy had to go testify at his nephew's trial for rape at his house?
Totally framed for that, right? Right? Framed.
Hey, we don't want to. We are all about uniting for a brighter future.
Where the Kennedys do whatever they want to people.
Yeah, the Kennedys are not special. They're not. But this is gross. Just trying to hide behind their family instead of going, we don't like that he supported Trump. And again, I say this not liking Bobby Kennedy. I don't like that little fucking commie. I mean, I really don't think that this is a big deal to begin with. I mean, it's a slap in the face to Kamala, especially coming right after the convention, because it changes all of the headlines. But you'll notice they're all negative. Have you seen one that says Kennedy endorses Trump and it's a good thing, or the 5 good reasons, or even just the 5 reasons Bobby Kennedy sided with Trump?
The only one I saw that was remotely close was New York Post's headline tomorrow is a Kennedy endorses a Republican.
Yeah, and that's about as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, it's very down the road.
Because it's all got to be about how horrible this is.
Oh,
how dare you? Fuck off. We're not going to watch his speech because I can't listen to Bobby Kennedy talk.
Oh my God, it's horrifying. It's like listening to your sleep paralysis demon give you a lecture.
I know it's not his fault, but I can't listen to it. I did see, I think, was it CNN? They had a dude on there who was making fun of him, said it was like remember in Blazing Saddles when they have the town meeting and the one guy gets up there and he just mumbles?
Yeah.
He compared it to that.
That's lazy.
Frontier gibberish. Like, oh, come on, man. You guys weren't saying this shit just a week ago when it was still valid. If you're gonna just make fun of we made fun of his voice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that Robert Kennedy Jr. should have a debate with Sherrod Brown to see whose voice is more annoying. Because they both have that same Grady.
Thank you, Dangerous. I'm a pedantic bastard, but I thought her air ran out. And the Dems praised Ted for the rest of his life. The Dems saying that the party of women is hilarious when they can't define a woman true. Now, I'm fairly certain she drowned.
Could have been both. I mean, or a combination thereof. I don't think it really matters. She's still dead.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Teddy wouldn't do anything.
Of the two, if you just kind of run out of oxygen, you basically just pass out. Drowning is violent.
Yeah, I'm not disputing the difference in manner of death. I'm just saying that Teddy killed her either way.
Oh, yeah.
Through his own selfish actions.
I do hope that just lack of oxygen made her pass out and that she wasn't awake for the end.
Yeah, I would hope she didn't suffer through that, because damn, what a shit way to die.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have a lot more to say on this other than no, Kennedy, I don't want him in any form of power. And I do hope this gets Trump elected, because fuck Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Interestingly, he didn't take his name off the ballot in every state, just certain ones.
There were some states where he's not allowed to. I think mine is one of those where, sorry, you're on the ballot. That's just how it is.
Well, it'll hurt Kamala Harris more than anything because of his endorsement for Trump.
Yeah, he said the ones where he did purposefully leave it on, it's in ones where it's not going to matter either way. Yeah. Like California. I mean, there's no reason that's going to Kamala. Kamala's already won California.
Yeah, if a Republican were to win California, I think we'd probably all be worried about the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because that hasn't happened since what, Reagan?
Around there, sounds right.
Yeah, so like 1984.
All right, Jack, now I have to annoy you with Caitlyn Collins. She was on with Bill Maher.
Well, if it's any consolation, I have a frosted article.
Sweet.
Here.
Come on, Monk, CIA director would be hilarious. again, as I said at the start of the show, I can see the irony of making him CIA director.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not want a man who wanted people locked up for disagreeing with global warming as our CIA director.
Yeah, that actually would worry me a little bit.
It'd worry me a lot, dude. I have been very vocal about my stance on that.
Yeah. I don't want to be in the prison block, or the gulag, depending on how things go.
Anonymous, thank you. You two have any comfort YouTube channels? For me, it's Vice Grip Garage. Just so pleasant, and you don't need to be a car guy to enjoy it at all. Thank you so much for that, feminist. $12. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by comfort, but if you're talking about when I'm just relaxing, I love Pitch Meeting. I still throw that on in the background from time to time. I love watching Beard Meets Food because he's just such an upbeat, pleasant guy the whole time. Anything else? The rest of it is mostly just like games that I play. I'll throw somebody on doing a playlist. I was playing Tropico recently, and I was watching people and the one I was watching was like 5 years old, but it was very soothing to have that just playing. Nothing that I would suggest for everybody, You got any like that?
Watch a lot of the documentary stuff like Time Team, Chronicles, Spaced Out Radio, Creepy Little Book, who's now Dark Sayings. Whenever he does a show, I watch that. Horror Babble, if you like audiobooks. They do a bunch of they've done all of the Lovecraft stuff and a bunch of others, and that guy's voice is great. I tend to fall asleep to stuff like that. And of course, old Kevin Samuels. Go back and watch some of those. But yeah, pretty much mostly just documentaries. There's a really good one right now on Free Documentary History. They do 1930s movies on they're doing a 3-parter on Countdown to the War, World War II. So right now that part 3 is the 1930s in color.
Ethel says, old ass tool restoration videos put me to sleep in the best possible way. There you go.
Yeah, I watch a lot of murder porn.
Well, there's several things that I watch on a regular basis that I didn't mention. I like a lot of history videos.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think of things non-political. I mean, and even in that case, some people might consider some of the stuff said in Pitch Meeting political at times.
Yeah.
But they're jokes.
Yeah, he's mostly screwing around. He's obviously a bit of a lefty. But
oh God, he had a video on his Ryan George channel. That's his name. But he has his own channel with his own name. That it was Elon Musk buying a sandwich shop, and it's headline news, the sarcastic video.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's real up to date on stuff.
But he mostly stays out of more political stuff, and you should, if you're a comedian, unless you're known for comedy joke or political comedy. It's just never a good thing to do.
Yeah. I try and stay away from a lot of the politics stuff when I want to relax or if I'm going to fall asleep. So I'll make a playlist of murder porn, old episodes of 48 Hours are all over YouTube right now.
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of 48 Hours. Cold Case, I love. The Law and Crime Network has their different series. Prime Crime, I really like.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if you've ever watched Briefcase.
No.
He does really short, 15, 20-minute videos on crimes from the Victorian era.
I
following
like
trials.
longer content. There's a lot of times I go to watch a video and I see it's only like 10 to 15 minutes long and I get annoyed and I'll watch something else.
But it's called Brief
Yep.
Case.
I figured that's where you were headed with that name.
But I'll put a bunch of his stuff on, and Dark Histories does quite a mixture of stuff. Most Notorious does like hour-long documentaries.
If you like Old West stuff, and this guy does have shorter videos, and I wouldn't have watched them, but I found him because of a compilation he did with like 10 or 12 of his 15-minute videos all together. Fuck, what the hell's his name? I'm looking for it because if you do like Old West stuff, he talks about some great the Wild West Extravaganza is the name of the channel.
Oh.
Yeah, actually it was a lot more than that. This video that I watched was 3 hours and 42 minutes long.
Yeah, see, I generally don't have the time to do that anymore.
Well, it starts out talking about this one was about a lot of outlaws, and several of them I'd never heard before, and the one, his name was Big Nose something, I can't remember his name, but after he was killed, the one doctor who was involved with him peeled his skin and had him made into shoes that he wore.
That's fucking weird, man.
When he became governor of the state.
That's fucking weird.
The weird part is that he wanted the governor, who was a doctor, wanted the man's nipples on each shoe.
I don't know how to respond to that. That's some psycho shit. Did one of his descendants run a concentration camp in World War II? Because Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Kamala's sentient clit. Oh my.
Ew.
My name wasn't supposed to be anonymous, so I hope this one went through. Kamala's sensitive clit, one word. I got it. I got it. Yeah, I don't know why it came up as anonymous for that last one, but thank you for both.
Yeah, guys, when you do Streamlabs donations, you have to put your name as one long word, or put dashes in it, because it doesn't always come up if there's a space.
Last time I go take a piss right after tuning in.
Right?
Don't worry, we're not really talking about all that.
Sometimes we don't even know what's going on. So if you're lost, just imagine how we feel. But thank you, Retro V Gamer, for the generous donation. Bail fund for when they come to take you away. Oh, thank you. I'm going to need it.
If anybody's interested in the Wild West thing I was talking about, there you go. I'll put it on both places. There you go, guys. All right, let's get into Kate. Oh, I don't want to finish that sentence. Let's get into the subject of Caitlyn Collins and her trip onto Real Time the other day.
Oh, excuse me. Inside Caitlyn Collins.
Inside Caitlyn. So
deep inside.
We're jumping in at the beginning.
Yeah.
Bill asked her about the convention, and she thought that the Democratic convention was good, and Bill thought it was better than the Democrat one, or sorry, than the Republican one, because of course he did. Who is she? She is a CNN host who did the town hall with Trump. She used to be a White House correspondent, and then she got a morning show with Don Lemon, and Don Lemon made her cry, so they gave her her own better slot, and now the bitch is everywhere.
I suspect she needed a better slot.
And she ended Don Lemon's career. You know what? It's too bad that oh shit, what's his name? John Ward, thank you. Doesn't do his ended the career videos anymore, because this one's actually true. But she was also recently on Colbert, and we watched the clip from it where Colbert makes the comment that CNN is or that they try to be unbiased over on CNN, and even Colbert's audience busted up laughing. They're like, stop playing. And we're getting to where Bill is going to ask her about that part specifically.
I mean, you made press because you were on Stephen Colbert's show, and he said something like, you guys at CNN just report the news straight. And the crowd burst into laughter. Look, I'm on CNN now. I guess we're on it right now. I mean, they show this show the next night. I don't know how we get away with it with all the fucks, but they do. And all these dirty jokes. But I'm glad. And I'm a big rooter for CNN. But that tells you a lot, doesn't it? I mean, how do you guys think you are doing in that arena of like, this is a terribly divided country. We're not only politicized, a lot of people just hate the other side. And CNN, in my view, should be the place where both sides can watch. How do you?
That really bothers me. And I get what he's saying here. You know, you have Fox on the right. Yeah, right. MSNBC on the left, so CNN in the middle. None of the news should be in a way where people can point to it and go, that is the bias here. If you're talking about their talk shows, that's fine. Have them as biased as you want. But we're talking about the actual news. Because there's not enough news to fill the 24-hour news cycle, they have to do this shit. They have to have opinion pieces on everything. You guys ever watch CNN headline news? They basically just repeat the same thing every half hour because that's how often the news changes. So instead of just reporting the news is now punditry. It's what we do, but they get to call themselves news.
Yeah, headline news is mostly forensic files now.
Yeah.
They gave up on that half-hour shit.
Well, yeah, I should have said that. Watch it back in its heyday. I used to love headline news. I would turn it on once or twice a day just to catch up and then go on with my day because, these are the stories. This is how the last story changed. And I didn't have to sit there and listen to a jackass talk for half an hour about shit that was unimportant.
Yeah.
Or, CNN doing Saddam Hussein's dirty work.
Yeah, well, there's that. But they could have expanded their coverage to other things, more places, because they really just gave you very bite-sized news from like certain locations. Like now you could do a lot more with covering like British politics and stuff going on in Europe and Africa and China.
But nobody cares about that shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They didn't have to do half hour. Could have been an hour. They're just pussies.
I appreciate just a quick overview of the news. I really do. Anyway, so he's asking her, you guys should be where everyone can watch, which, again, all of them should be, but
you think you're doing with that?
How is CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And I think...
Sure, both sides can watch, but only one's going to be happy about it.
Yeah, well, one side is the only correct side, monkey. Just ask them. Ask them.
Yeah.
She'll tell you she's very nonpartisan, I bet. Like, I'm very even-handed.
Oh, have you seen this?
No, but that's how these people think. All these huge lefties all think that they're nonpartisan.
All right.
I think, my show is evidence of that. We have lawmakers on from both parties.
See that? You mean my show? How are you guys doing? On my show, we do great. Your doctor went on with Joe Rogan and basically had to apologize for your entire network being lying shitbags.
Yeah.
You guys literally just parroted the Democratic line. He was eating horse dewormer.
Can watch. And I think, my show is evidence of that. We have lawmakers on from both parties. We'll have Elizabeth Warren on one night. We'll have Ted Cruz on another night. I think lawmakers.
Okay. That doesn't make it balanced. If I have Jack on the show and me and him have a wonderful conversation like we do, Jack,
Yeah, I hope so.
And then tomorrow I had Hunter Avalon on and just rip him to shreds. I can't go. I was even to both of them because I let him on. When you refuse to question the one side, when you have Elizabeth Warren on and you spend the whole time sucking on her old ass titties, and then you have Ted Cruz on and you tell him what a horrible piece of shit he is, that's not fair and balanced, lady.
Yeah. They have that problem with CNN quite a bit, where they might have somebody from the supposed right wing on, but it's always like Adam Kissinger or Liz Cheney, or one of these other neocon borderline leftists. It's never anybody that's actually going to push back. And on the rare occasion they do, it's just to mock them.
Justin says, as a lifelong Californian who is now committed to voting red until the day I die, I can confirm we all seem almost unable to consider our own fallibility, if not unable entirely. Do not commit to vote red until the day you die. Vote red as long as voting red makes sense. There's a ton of people who've done exactly, and I'm hoping that you, with what the rest of you said there, that you understand this. But there's a ton of people who said what you did, but for voting blue, and are supporting shit they never would have supported anymore because, well, they're voting blue because conservatives suck. It's why we see the black voting bloc, not to be confused with black bloc, but black voters, mostly in lockstep with the Democrats. We're going to vote because Democrats, we have to vote for them no matter what. Never, never, never say always like that. Damn, that's a fair. I just want to point it out. There will be times, I've seen some Republicans I wouldn't vote for. No fucking way. Most of them, actually. But they do it by what makes sense, not just red or blue. That's all I want to say. How does one define voting red? Red would be voting Republican, basically. All right. Back to Caitlyn's dumbass answer here.
Speakers from both parties should take questions, and you should push both of them. But on CNN being a place of credibility, I mean, look at what just happened in Chicago. We had 300 people from CNN on the ground covering that convention. There were several reporters from just our team alone on the floor, bringing it in real time to people. And I think CNN puts resources behind things and just brings a level of news that you don't get anywhere else. And I think CNN does a great job.
I really wish she would have said there how many people they had on the ground at the Republican National Convention.
Oh, 5?
Because telling me you sent 300 people to go hang out with your side doesn't really impress me.
Well, as Shania Twain once said, that don't impress me much.
I love me some Shania.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure, because he's asking her about her bias and the bias of the network, and her answer is, a bunch of us went to the DNC.
Well, remember, to the MSNBC viewer, they are the right wing.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there. Now, if this is the part that I think it is, Bill basically has a monologue here, but what he says is actually kind of important. And I haven't seen past there, Jack. So it'll be new to all of us.
I'm talking about the people on CNN and what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. I do want to stop there. I know what the conservative side thinks, and I don't blame him. He's talking about conservatives thinking CNN is biased. This is your audience, Caitlyn. Bill Maher should be up here going, you are the greatest ever. He is your target audience with your leftist shit, and even he's going, I can even see it, fuckers. At what point do they get the message? They won't, because there's no one to hold them accountable. They jack each other off all the time. So
Unfortunately, I don't think anything's even going to come of this conversation. I don't think she's smart enough to even understand it. But even Bill Maher can look at CNN and go, yeah, I see it. But his example is great.
Kamala's speech last night, it ended at 8:09, I guess 11:09 in the East. It wasn't until 11:23 till the one conservative guy, what's his name?
Scott Jennings.
This Lonely Scott, I call him.
David Urban was there too.
Wait a second. I watched from 8:09 to 8:23, they was just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to be. But if I'm a conservative in America and I'm watching CNN, just for the straight middle of the road, that's what I hear for 15 minutes is it's great. And then Lonely Scott. It does.
And this goes to what we were saying earlier. Just because you have even a conservative up there, when he's so overwhelmed compared to everyone else, what they have, I know what he's talking about. And I think there were 5 or 6 people on that panel. And for 15 minutes, it's just, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't watch the panel, but I saw a picture from when they do it. And it's their normal talking heads. And we've watched other things where they do this. It's not just that you don't have, conservatives on. And to me, it feels like that's what they think it is. Hey, as long as we bring a conservative on here, it's balanced, right? Yeah. Sure, when it's 6-1 and the one that you do bring on is still liberal as fuck.
Yeah, and they ruthlessly mock them and don't give them time to actually, comment on anything.
Yeah.
It's like having a debate with Destiny.
Yes.
When he's a super liberal mode.
I love that Lonely Scott thing.
Look, I mean, and when you see the path, it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View. It's like
100%. It doesn't look like it. Just call it what it is, Bill. Why are you couching this shit?
He just told you his show's on CNN now.
I hear you, but I expect more from him.
No, he's a coward in his old age. Remember, he apologized to Ice Cube for as a representative of all black people.
Yes.
Guys, he is such a bitch now.
Like it's almost better to have nobody there, like MSNBC, than to have this.
Well, I don't think you can say it's better to have nobody there than also lament the fact that you don't think the conservative guy, Scott Jennings, who is great, and we have him on my show all the time, spoke up early enough. I think.
Okay, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here, Caitlyn. You should be able to be fair and balanced without a single Republican on your show. You're supposedly giving the news. It's not supposed to be one-sided, you fucking idiot. And he wasn't just pointing out that there's a conservative who didn't get to speak until a long time in. It's that the coverage itself was just glowing for Kamala. And not one of your, news people went, it was all right. I haven't seen the speech, Jack, so I can't comment either way. But look at our coverage of Obama's speech. Even I said, decent speech. For what he was doing, it was a decent speech.
Oh, God, it was boring. But yeah,
it was boring
for him.
It went way too long. And if he'd cut it down, it probably would have been one of his best speeches.
Yeah, if he had knocked that down to like 30 minutes, it probably would have been way more memorable.
Yeah.
And impactful. But instead, he drones on. Because if there's one thing Obama loves, it's the sound of his own voice.
Yes. I feel a little judged, but yes. You should be able to be honest no matter what, Caitlyn. You shouldn't need a Republican on there to be like, oh, by the way, you guys are being a little biased here. Thank you, Dangerous. The quantity of journalism at the DNC does not make it not quality. Not quality journalism, Caitlyn. Sorry, where it breaks up, by the way, I have this. Sometimes the diction comes out wrong. Sorry. Let's not forget that the doctor that apologized on Joe Rogan then had to apologize on CNN for the apology. That is true. That is true. He goes back to CNN and basically, well, I'm sorry, y'all. And then they pretended he was never on Joe Rogan and admitted that they were full of shit. All right.
I think it was a Democratic convention. They turned to Democrats, people like David Axelrod, who ran successful presidential Democratic campaigns first for their analysis of this. And I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. I mean, look at.
That's how far down the rabbit hole you are, honey.
Somebody put on Twitter, she's right. CNN is anything but fair. This is the clip that I saw on Twitter that made me tune into this in the first place. Her saying that, like, are you serious? And this is where it had cut off on there. And the next couple of lines that she says is where I stopped it and like, okay, we have to watch this on the show. If I told you she's going to give a recent example of CNN's fair coverage of a major story, what one do you think it would be?
Trump getting shot.
No, but that is a good guess. Wait, listen to this shit.
That we covered President Biden's exit from the race very.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we're so fair. We cover everything, like all these Democrat things I'm talking about.
And let's not forget that CNN, until Joe basically drops out, is like, there's nothing wrong with Joe. Joe's fine. Joe's all right. Those damn Republicans and their cheap. Yes, exactly, man. They're cheap fakes. That was 2 weeks before the debate. And then when you do finally have him, when you cover, we covered him dropping out. Nobody said you didn't. Everybody covered him dropping out. You guys had Van Jones on there crying about it.
Oh, that was
literally crying. How many Republicans did you have on when Trump got shot, literally crying about it?
Oh, none. You know that. They were trying to even say that, like, imply that was faked.
Yeah. But that is her example. Hey, when Joe Biden, that's why I was like, nah, fuck this. We got to watch. We covered Joe Biden's exit from the. No shit. And
so far. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Then you immediately switch to sucking off Kamala.
Yeah. So far, her examples of fairness and equality is that they covered Joe Biden exiting the race and they covered the DNC. No Republican things. No talking about how many people they had at the RNC, like you pointed out. Nothing like that. Nope.
You guys had Van Jones on there literally crying. And I don't blame Van Jones for crying. People have been through this with a loved one, and he's known Joe for a long, long time. This isn't easy to watch. Since then, how much coverage have you given to the fact that we have a dementia patient in the White House?
Oh, we just glossed that over. Thank you, Monkey.
Jesus. All right.
Very closely, the pressure on him to get out. And I feel like I can speak with authority on this. I'm from Alabama. I'm from a very red state. I have a very conservative family. A lot of them who are Trump voters, they watch my show every night. And I think they know.
No, they tell you
they
family watch every night.
Your family supports you. Shocking. That's a good thing you're not a Kennedy.
Know that they can trust me, that, we call bullshit on every side, not just.
Sure, honey. Sure.
Notice she said we covered Biden's exit and the pressure on him. She didn't say we covered Biden's exit and his clear mental decline. His inability to even speak properly.
You mean it's stutter? Jesus, Monkey.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that stutter. Did you see that photo of Kamala speaking with a little black girl in the foreground that all the leftists are praising? It looks horrifying. No. Send it to me on Twitter, dude. All right. Anyway.
Whatever leaning our audience may be. And I
the question's not about what the audience leaning is. It's about your leaning. Bill just gave you a specific example for 15 minutes. And your response to that was, well, we had a Democrat up there to talk about the Democratic convention. I understand why. I understand why you'd have somebody who's been involved in that. But you could have had, especially if you're trying to be balanced, you should have more of the other side up there in that point to get the side that other people won't see.
They don't want Republic cooties.
No. Scott, you wait and we'll talk. I don't even know who Scott is, but we'll talk to you when you get a second. Look, I like Megyn Kelly, and I actually thought about watching part of her show because she went off on a dude the other day, Jack. It was funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But I would never tell you guys that Megyn is fair and balanced. She is clearly just right wing right now. She is all up in Trump's side. And she does a better job than some of at least pretending that she cares about other things.
Yeah.
You can watch something that's biased and still enjoy it. Is just be honest about what it is.
Yeah. Remember, she came from a place where she hated Trump. Like, absolutely. She famously hated Trump.
Yep. And then she got the Trump treatment, and she didn't even get the full Trump treatment.
No. She got a little taste of her own medicine, and I think that brought her around a little bit. I do like her new hairstyle, by the way, where she's got it hanging on one side.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of hot.
All right.
I think that's something that people actually want more of, is to hear from that. I think Scott's voice is really important, but I think other voices are important to hear from. And everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, we had Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip, all my amazing colleagues.
They come across.
They're all lefties.
All the lefties?
Yeah, and that Scott guy, she's got one possible mild neocon, but Dana Bash, she's no right-winger.
Dana Bash just the other day was, what was it? Fuck. I just saw her because she was being incredibly one-sided again. Anyway, Dangerous, thank you. Fair? Are you fucking kidding me? Let's ask Nick Sandman about that, or Kyle Rittenhouse. How about that guy who made the CNN wrestling meme? Chris Cuomo's coverage of his brother, January 6th versus 2020. Yeah, look, man, she's just full of shit. You have to be retarded to think CNN is fair.
Yeah, and if you think that Jake Tapper is some kind of right-wing paragon, you've suffered a traumatic brain injury or 5.
Jake Tapper probably is their best I was going to say unbiased, but not unbiased, least biased person. He does seem to care about his integrity more than just repeating the approved talking points, but he'll still just we saw Dana Bash and Jake Tapper do the questioning at the debate, and there is a school of thought out there that the reason that their that their questions were as unbiased as they were, which they still had dripping bias in them, is because of the pushback before the debate about how it was just going to be 2020 all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And they were almost forced into being, mostly normal. Still let Biden get away with all kinds of shit. It was in no way everything that Trump supposedly was going to do wrong, Biden did, and they let him get away with repeatedly.
Oh, yeah, because he's Joe Biden.
They held his hand when remember the one answer that he gave? It was really short, and Dana's like, do you want to expound on that? You have plenty of time left.
Yeah.
Say more, please.
He got more rebuttal time than Trump did.
Yeah.
He got away with name calling and childish behavior. It was really pathetic.
Look, again, this goes back to the 90s because I haven't seen a poll since, but in the 90s, they did a poll of journalists, and it was, I want to say 95%. It could have been a little high. It was in the 90s. Voted Democrat. They voted Democrat. And they're like, no, but we're not biased. How do you have that many people so like-minded and convince yourself that there's no problem?
By having that many people and being in a Jonestown-like mentality where everybody is the same as you, so you can all convince each other that you're not biased.
Now, before this, there was a part of the conversation, and I cut it off because it not much to it. But Bill asks her about Kamala not. Oh, thank you, Alan, for becoming a member for month number 9. Says, morning, guys. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Thank you for becoming a member. Or renewing membership, I should say. He says to her, Kamala refusing to talk to the press is almost worse than the way Trump treats the press, because she's saying, I don't need you. You don't even matter. And her response was, but sometimes Trump's mean to us, so I don't know that you can say it's worse. I'm like, really?
Fuck off.
At least Trump will have, and she said, because Trump would get in arguments with you. Well, when you're up there asking stupid questions, I mean, we saw the other day where he gets questioned because he went to a town and Kamala's campaign put out, hey, he only went there. Where was it here in Michigan? Howell. He only went to Howell, Michigan because they're a racist town.
Yeah, they called the whole town racist.
You shouldn't be nice to a person in the press who's doing that shit. You should. He was nicer than I was about it. I would have said, that's fucking retarded. How are you even able to breathe? How do you remember to inhale and exhale? He's mean to the press. Even in this, where she's not on the air here, Jack. She can say what the fuck she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And even in this, she has to defend Kamala and no, Trump is so bad. Kamala thinks so little of you, she won't even speak to you. But hey, Trump argues with me when I say stupid shit.
Stop saying stupid shit.
Should the town be sealed off with a dome like the Simpsons movie? Yes, apparently. Anyway, and for those of you who didn't see it, his answer was, who came here in 2020? And the answer was Joe Biden. Even the reporter said Joe Biden. And he goes, thank you very much, and left. He's gotten better about handling them and not being as confrontational.
Yeah, he definitely has had some media training.
Yeah,
and good for him. It shows his flexibility and willingness to adapt, especially at his age. That's not easy to do.
Biden was just visiting some old friends. Stop it. Yeah. Anyway.
Giving analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1. It always looks like 5-1. Okay, I'll move on. But I feel like in this era we're in, until Donald Trump goes away, which could be never, the important thing for a network like CNN is to be able to talk about Donald Trump, which is so difficult because he is awful. There's no two ways about it. He is an awful person and a terrible person to be running the country.
Bill really, really, really hates Donald Trump, and I'm not exactly sure why, considering he's part of Hollywood where, they bang kids on the regular.
Well, Donald Trump is opposed to pedophiles, so maybe that's why. Maybe.
And Bill Maher has pretended that in the past that he was a libertarian. If you go back to his politically incorrect days, he's always been a lefty.
Oh yeah, he likes to dress it up and occasionally disagree with some lefties, but not very often.
He'll disagree with lefty policies when they're, incredibly insane.
Yeah.
But he does what we get accused of, where he'll avoid things that he should talk about because he knows there's no way to justify it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. How do you? But if you just say that, half the country turns off. I saw the town hall you did with him.
Yeah.
Which was fucking excellent. He just ran roughshod over her.
Yeah, yeah. She was not prepared for that at all.
That was her reward for putting up with Don Lemon's shit, by the way. That's why she got that plum job, is please don't sue us.
Yeah, that should have been a career maker, having Trump on, standing up to the man or whatever, and it just made her look like a chump.
They really should have had somebody like Tapper do that. Somebody
I think
who
that would have been better, yeah.
It would have been, especially for their network, because she came out there trying to be girl boss. I'm gonna show this motherfucker.
Then she realized why the patriarchy's been around for so long.
Yes.
Now, I don't know who was in that audience. All right, but rather I should say, I don't know how they picked that audience.
I do.
But whoever was in that audience loved them some Donald Trump.
Republicans like Donald Trump. That is a fact.
Was that a
She's not going to say they gave Donald Trump a favorable audience, is she?
Oh, I think she is.
Republican audience? I mean, they said it was an independent and Republican audience.
No, because the timing is important. That town hall was done in May 2023 ahead of the Republican primary, and of course, we knew a lot of Republicans were expected to get in. And so you're not going to put Democrats in the audience because it's for Republican primaries in New Hampshire. So it was Republican and Republican-leaning independents because those are the people who decided who was going to be the Republican nominee. And I think it was jarring for people because they hadn't really heard a lot from Donald Trump. That was his first major interview.
I'm sorry.
Did
this woman
the guy
just
that
say
was president for 4 years that was constantly on the news for 5 years? Fuck off, you stupid bitch.
The man who has been the focus of news since before he announced, just when they got word that he was thinking seriously of running, people hadn't heard from him. Your own network, all of the media was like, oh my God, we gave him too much coverage in 2016.
Yeah, it's not like Trump wasn't a cultural phenomenon for decades before either. He's been in the news on Oprah and Donahue and all those other shows for literal decades. You go back to the 80s when he was really kind of just a real estate guy, but somehow had cult of personality, had a board game, Trump stakes, all that goofy shit. The guy was in the media then, and he talked some politics then. This is disingenuous to say the least.
Nobody had heard from, like, she was breaking new ground. I finally wrestled him down and got him to answer questions.
Well, only a girl boss could.
Fuck.
That he had done besides Fox News since he left the White House. And I just think, as a journalist, my view of it, one, I'm only in charge of the questions that I asked and the follow-ups that we asked him, which I think we did a very good job of that night.
Of course you think that, you egotistical psychopath.
Have you watched it, lady?
No, she was there, Monkey. She experienced it. That's her lived experience. You can't question that. Like, share, and subscribe.
But I think, if you think not putting Trump on TV is going to make Trump
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
where did you get that he was telling you not to put Trump on TV?
I have a feeling a lot of lefties believe that. That if you just don't give him, if you don't look him in the eye, the problem goes away on its own. Which, if medical history is any indication, you're going to die that way. That's not healthy.
There's a cute thing that happens with children when they're really little. They think if they can't see you, you can't see them.
Yes. And object permanence, what's that?
Yeah.
When I close my eyes, all of you go away.
You're right that's how they treat. But he didn't say anything that was even right. He said, "How do you cover him?" And she's like, we can't just not have him on." That's not what he said.
No, but that question can be taken in multiple ways. How do you cover him? Like, how would I go about doing that? Or how dare you cover him?
How about the answer there is as objectively as we can? That's the right answer.
No. See, he's a right-wing MAGA extremist. I mean, they treat him like he's David Duke or something. Because to them, that's how far right he is. They are so far to the left that even a centrist like Trump, who easily could have fit in Democrat or Republican, in like 1995, he is, to them, not a moderate or a centrist. He is, in fact, an extremist. These people have never met an extremist.
I'm convinced the reason that Bill hates him so much is that he ran against Hillary and beat her.
Yeah.
It's not his actual policy positions or anything, because he has a visceral hatred of Trump.
Yeah.
And it's because he should have been on their side. In the past, when Trump has talked about running, even when he's talked about running as a Republican, it was understood that he was still very liberal. And he dared knock off, Madam President.
Yeah, he stopped the ascension of Hillary.
How fucking funny would it be if Trump twice beats women in his campaigns?
Oh my God, it'd be hilarious.
I didn't even realize. I just put that together. This is the second time the Democrats have had a woman as their nominee, and both times are against Trump. And I honestly, look, right now, if you went with the polls, Kamala wins. But I have a feeling that's getting ready to change because the convention is over. They don't have an October surprise for Trump. There's no surprises.
Yeah.
The worst they can do is maybe find something about Vance that nobody knows. But all of the October surprises favored Republicans right now.
Well, with Tim Walz, there's probably a litany of bizarre things in his background they could come up with. I'm sure Kamala's got some skeletons in her closet. They could probably go interview Willie Brown for half an hour and find some dirt.
Yeah, I mean, even with Vance has gotten so much scrutiny as a congressman, scrutiny that Kamala never got.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that they can really break out for that October surprise. We don't know shit about Tim Walz, and what we have found out. Look, I'm just gonna say it honestly. How do I put? Oh, so the Megyn Kelly that I was watching, I watched it because Tucker Carlson was on. Plus, it's Megyn Kelly, and I watch a lot of her. But I saw Tucker was on. Oh, I'm gonna go watch that one. And at the end of it, she brings in this other guy, and they have this great argument about Walz where she just bitch slaps him. It's funny as fuck. But without saying it directly, over and over and over again, Tucker Carlson suggests that Tim Walz is a pedophile.
Well, I've been thinking that too, because that dude is really odd. And he hangs around a lot of things that involve kids.
Yep.
And just the way he acts is, you saw that clip, I think I made you watch it, of him prancing around when they were introducing him.
Yep.
That is not normal behavior. And it would not surprise me at all if there's some allegations in his past. But just some of the statements and the giving Minnesota the ability to take kids away if you won't trans your kid. He was a high school coach. I don't trust coaches to begin with. They keep calling him coach instead of governor or whatever.
Well, he's America's dad, don't you know?
America's creepy uncle, more like. There's something off about that guy. I guarantee you there's something in his past that probably should stay buried.
It is very funny to watch that interview because the way that Tucker keeps saying it is that he grew up around people like that and he knows people like that. He goes, look, I don't know him, but the vibes he's putting off and basically, like you're saying, the situations he's been in.
Yeah, look, man, been around a lot of weirdos in my day, and that dude hits every radar I've got. There's something wrong with that dude. He is going to be catastrophic if he ever gets in a position of real, genuine power like the vice presidency. No matter how limited that role is, it's a lot more power than he's got as governor, and we saw what he did with that. He created a snitch line, did massive lockdowns, all the nasty COVID shit. He's done it. Can you imagine what he would do as the second in command of our country? How bad he could fuck things up, especially if he is a pervert.
Frosted Glass says, why not call him Command Sergeant Major? Funny you should bring that up. In that Megyn Kelly thing, she brings on this Democrat who is one of the ones who told Biden he should step down.
Oh.
And she asks him about, well, what about saying he should step down from the campaign?
Yeah.
And she asked him, don't you think he should step down from the presidency? Like, no, you don't understand how hard it is to campaign. Yeah, that's the real hard job there.
Yeah, that's where the pressure comes from.
But then they get off talking. I hate saying that. Then they start talking about Walz and the Command Sergeant Major stuff. And this guy starts attacking the people who have questioned Walz while saying, how dare you attack the military? And Megyn points out, you realize you're attacking the military, right?
No.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one to watch. Anyway, back to Caitlyn here.
Putting Trump on TV is going to make Trump.
No.
Away.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I watched that and that you did do a good job. You held his feet to the fire.
No, she didn't. She actually lied repeatedly and asked him about shit that wasn't real like the media does. But okay.
The crowd loved him. It didn't matter that he was spewing bullshit. He always spews bullshit. They loved him.
But that's representative of America.
Okay.
Republicans do love him, and he may very well be.
But then they cut to the panel where it's like 5 people shitting on him. So they just saw like 90 minutes of this guy saying things.
Go ahead.
Bill just said that Trump went up there and lied, and they loved him for it. And she's like, but that's representative of America. Yeah, apparently we're all a bunch of rubes. Thanks, lady. Thanks. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're right. But that is what they think.
Yeah, they're the sophisticated elites. We're the dummies out here that are living in the hills. You know, we're just the flyover country hillbillies. Dar. Fuck you.
Joe Biden got on the stage the other night and repeated easily a dozen lies about Trump.
Yep.
It lies that are told on CNN on a regular basis.
Yep. Provable lies.
Yeah.
It's easy to find out that what they're saying is total bullshit.
And this is why when people like Mar, like, Trump is a liar. All right, let's even grant Trump is a liar because he's human. Most of the shit you guys say he lied about isn't even lies. But on the other hand, you can't be out here going, the thing I hate about him is that he's a liar, when the person you're supporting lies as much, if not more. Joe Biden, literally his whole goddamn political career has been lying.
Yep. It continues to do so.
And you can't, this is one of the things that drove me nuts in the 2020 campaign and going into the 2024 campaign is all these, he's a liar. Look who you're pointing to, though. Does lying matter to you, or do you not have something else to say? Look, I don't like liars, but we're talking about politics here, and politicians lie. They just do.
Yeah. Not a joke, man.
It's not a joke. Anyway.
People loving him, and then 5 people who look like elitists because you don't get it. You see, you don't get what we like about him.
Well, I think 2 things can be true. I think people can like Donald Trump and maybe not care about the veracity of his statements or what he promises to do and whether or not he fulfills that or changes his position on it. And I think you can have people, talk about that and analyze it after. I don't think that those 2 things can exist together.
Okay. What he's getting at is the optics, you silly bitch.
Yeah.
You had. There's a reason everybody's turning. You do know that the press has like a worse approval rating than any politician right now.
They have a worse approval rating than cockroaches.
And it's been this way since 2015. It's been slowly going down over time anyway, but it tanks in 2016. And it's what you guys have been doing here. They look like elitists. They don't look like elitists, Bill. They are.
Yeah.
These are the people that got up there and told you and me that Biden just has a stutter.
Yep. They pushed the Russian dossier nonsense. Some of them are still doing it. And let's not forget all the other the Charlottesville good people on both sides crap that's been debunked. They still push that nonsense.
How many times have these guys, anytime the Russian collusion is brought up, point out that we know there was Russian collusion and it was between the Hillary campaign and the DNC and the Russians? That's fact.
Yeah.
The Steele dossier was put together with Russians. That was their source for the pee on the bed shit. Anyway.
And it was just so over the top too. Like that was, if they dialed that down 6 or 7 notches, it might have been more believable, but they had to go a little overboard. And that's how you always get caught in your stupid lies.
Mofo says something hate facts. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to.
Okay, so can I ask you one last thing about it's interesting the way certain memes take over in this culture now. And brat. What do you think about this? Somehow Kamala got to be brat, and really
Are you jealous?
Oh my.
They are hip with the kids, yo.
That is so timely. I said this on Twitter earlier today. We've seen the press before try to push politicians with the notion, don't you want to be one of the cool kids? We've never seen it to the extent that they're doing it with Kamala right now.
Yeah. Oh, she is so hip. That's why she had Little John on at the DNC. You know, the guy that hasn't done anything in a decade.
No. Obama had Little John on.
Oh, yeah.
Kamala sucks so bad that in order to get their viewership up for her speech, her campaign leaks that Beyonce might be singing.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was sad. The special guest is a lie.
They did that on purpose. And even then, she barely gets, her speech itself barely gets to the numbers that Trump's speech was at.
Yeah, I think those numbers were fudged because I watched part of that speech and it's boring as shit. It's parts of it are the exact same as the ones we heard her say on the trail. She's just recycling a lot of the same speech.
No, they are desperate for her to be cool so that the cool kids want to be like, don't you want to be one of the cool kids?
Oh my God. It smacks the same desperation as like that 40-year-old wine mom who wants to hang out with the kids so she lets them drink booze at her house.
Lisa says, I don't think any real man is jealous of brat. What the fuck is that? Yeah. No. You just want to be cool. Anyway, remember, anybody who criticizes Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just wants to bang her.
Oh, no. Honey, they don't.
It's always jealousy.
I'm not. well, I wanted you to read. I'll read what Charlie XEX herself said about it.
Okay.
But I'll ask you first what your opinion on this. Was that a smart move to embrace that? What does brat mean to you?
Is it smart for the Harris campaign to embrace it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think at a time when everyone wants young voters who historically don't turn out in large numbers, they're leaning into it. And it was a moment, I don't think everyone on the Harris campaign, or certainly not in the White House, fully understood brat either. It's not really Washington's strong suit. I lived there for close to a decade. But I think they leaned into it in the sense of how does it appeal to young voters? And if older voters don't get it, it doesn't. It's not a big deal.
No. That they falling for her own propaganda, Jack.
Yep. Well,
no, it was done to make the older voters. But don't you want to be a hip kid too? You're not like those square boomers, are you?
Yeah, you don't want to be old. Old is bad. Then you have to go to carousel and get reborn.
There was a specific push for that, not just for that reason, but because their old man had to drop out. So now Trump is the old man. Don't you want to be cool like the kids? It's all about, this is fucking high school, what we're watching right now from the campaigns and the media. And I'll tell you right now, I never gave a shit about the popular kids.
No, because they were douchebags and most of them are losers now. Yeah, Pokemon go to the polls. Exactly, massive.
Yep.
Life Day. Yeah, look, this is I think Caitlyn's right at that age where you're starting to not be hip with the kids anymore. She's like in her early 30s and slowly losing touch with all the cool stuff. So she's trying to recapture that too. So it's just as important to her as it is to the Harris campaign to try and keep up a little bit with the youngins. Plus, she looks like she's probably really hairy and is thinking about buying a dog.
Popular kids were boring. I didn't hate most of the popular kids. I just didn't care about them.
Yeah, I agree with Frost. Most of them were boring.
Yeah. I was friends with a lot of popular kids. I was very popular, Jack, but not popular. I fit in with every group because I just didn't care about your group. There were only two popular kids I really hated. One of them was a stuck-up. Oh, Jack, it was great. So I went to junior high school, and this chick, she was queen of the world. And we both went to the same high school the next year. She never got that attention back. Because where we lived, if you went to this junior high school, when you went up, you either went to one school or the other, and all of her friends went to the other. And I hated her, but I did enjoy watching her just be miserable for 3 years. Is that wrong?
No, because sometimes karma does actually come up.
She was horrible to people, so watching that happen was funny as shit. Anyway, I hope she took the lesson and grew up to be a better person than she was in junior high.
Yeah.
Although, as we watch the news these days, she might be working in media.
Yeah, well, that seems to be where a lot of the mean girl types went. Taylor Lorenz.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlyn Collins is 32. Yeah. So she's right about that age. And Kamala Harris is 59, by the way. Somebody asked that in chat. Yeah, so I think that Caitlyn is now like in that stage where she can't go to the 21-year-old bars anymore, you know, because now she's starting to get a little older. She's losing touch a little bit. So this brat thing is super important to her too, because she's about to go through that like my eggs are drying up stage.
Evil. As you said, that evil one put into chat, her gumballs are drying up.
Great minds, evil one. Great minds think alike.
All right.
Yeah, she does look 45. I thought so. She looks like a 45-year-old trying to look like she's 32.
Who, Caitlyn?
Yeah.
No, she looks like she's about 30.
That chick is fucking old looking. And
no.
She looks like a man from certain angles too. So I'm not convinced on anything yet.
She does look like a man, and even her lips are trying to keep her from talking because the edges don't like to open up. But
I think she waxes an upper lip. Me and Assassin were just talking about that. She's I'd have guessed 45. Yeah, I think she just is caking on the makeup a little too much. She's probably preemptive wrinkling.
I think you guys need to hang around 30-year-olds more.
No, I'm around plenty of people of the age demographic. It's just I think she's gonna wrinkle up like Tom Selleck.
But I think anything that campaigns can do to reach out to young people, Trump is doing this. He does a lot of podcasts, people that maybe most people haven't heard of, but he's trying his campaign. I've talked to them. They're trying to reach that same subset of voters, obviously different leanings, but I think that's how they're trying to go out and meet young people where.
But he's not latching on to some stupid ass term that hadn't even been around for very long.
Yeah, and it won't be around in 5 months.
Yeah.
It's a slang term, and slang notoriously goes out of favor very quickly, even more so in the internet age.
Yeah, this would be like Trump running around going, "I'm so Chad."
Yeah, gnarly dude.
There's a difference between trying to reach them by going to where they are and talking to them and picking up their lingo and using it to be like, "Look how cool I am."
Yeah, which is incredibly lazy because she's not actually going to the audience. She's just trying to adapt their lingo for the hello fellow kids effect.
Yes, 100%.
Well, Trump, if Trump advanced were smart, they would start putting ads on football broadcasts.
Oh, yeah.
That's their target audience is like the working class Joes that just want to unwind. That's where they should be targeting their ads.
But look what she did here, Jack. Hey, what do you think of Kamala doing this thing? But Trump's doing it too?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not even remotely the same thing.
Brand says, wait, she's not a man? Not that we know of.
Where they are, whether it's a meme or a podcast.
I haven't crocodile.
This is how she herself defines it, Charlie. That girl who is a little messy and likes to party and maybe says some dumb things sometimes, who feels herself but maybe also has a breakdown. But kind of.
Are you identifying with this? How are you feeling?
I'm saying I don't want my president to.
Is that just her go-to to everything?
I guess.
Are you identifying? No, he's laughing that this, if you look into what she said brat is, it's not good.
No, it sounds like you're an emotional basket case.
To be this. But kind of like parties through it. A little bit volatile, like does dumb things. It sounds like Trump. It doesn't sound like.
You think Trump is brat?
I think he's very brat. I think you're great. Thank you for coming on.
All right. That's enough of that. I loved her response to, are you guys biased? Hey, we covered Joe leaving the race. Well, good for you.
Yay? I don't know. Fucking stupid.
I don't even really know what that's supposed to signify. But it is always good to take a look at what our press has been up to and how they're thinking. And dear God, they are bad, bad people.
Yeah.
This is the picture Frosted was talking about. Apparently, this is going viral. What is this?
Wednesday Addams, look it up at Judge Harris. I don't know. Freedom.
Sure. Why are they so enamored with this picture?
I don't know. It looks like a kid watching TV. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. That blue background there looks kind of weird.
I realize that it's hard to see, but the face Kamala's making is kind of disturbing.
Well, it kind of fits the theme of this election.
Hang on. Let's do this.
Now, if they really wanted a campaign commercial, it'd have Joe Biden on one side and Tim Walz on the other, both sniffing one of the pigtails.
That's the face she's making.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Yeah.
Like so much stuff coming out of this campaign. It's just odd.
All right. Yeah, it is. The flag placement is weird because this is pretty centered and those flags just aren't.
They probably weren't centered properly on the stage to begin with.
Yeah. But anyway, weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why that picture is being pushed. It's not a great picture. It's really not.
I don't try and understand what mentally ill people are doing.
Little girl watching Kamala trying to break the glass ceiling. They're very worried about optics. Look, optics do matter. That's something we will never disagree with around here because that's just honest. They shouldn't matter. Reality should matter. But if you're going to do the optics to Kamala showing this girl how to break the glass ceiling, I mean, you'd have to put it in a book that goes into junior high schools and elementary schools.
Yeah.
The only way Kamala breaks the glass ceiling is if she stands up before her head clears the side of the desk. I'm just saying. Okay. I was not online literally at all yesterday. I jumped on long enough to try to tell you. And I told you, you asked me if I was okay. And I meant to go, yeah, but I'm not doing anything tonight. And all I did was go, yeah, but I'm in pain.
That's okay.
It's the only reason I jumped on. So I don't have much else to talk about.
I've got like 3 or 4 things that thought we should. Oh, 3. Did you see the Trump shooter apparently had encrypted messaging accounts in Belgium, Germany, and New Zealand?
I did not, but the CIA uses people all over the globe. I mean, I'm not shocked.
Yeah. There is speculation going around that he had outside help and he wasn't working alone. But if he could have done that alone, because the generalized incompetence, they did put 5 agents on desk duty to yesterday, technically. I don't know if you saw that either. They're Secret Service agents that were part of that detail got desked. They didn't get fired. They just got put on desk duty for an investigation. But I dropped the link to that article in the chat, so if anybody wants to read it, it's not something we really need to cover until we get more details. But there were 3 articles that I kind of wanted to touch on, if you don't mind.
Sure. Before we do, though, I just wanted to finish up with this part.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the convention, so I don't know how well it turned out. But they had John Legend singing "Let's Go Crazy," and I saw the practice for it. And for a convention that was supposed to be pushing joy and picking a song like that, it was amazing how neutered it was.
Yeah.
I mean, who's John Legend? He's a singer. I was actually offended when I heard it.
Yeah, I saw that clip you posted of it, and man, I don't know. Again, it just seems slightly out of touch and desperate.
I do love that they didn't change the lyrics, and they're singing about a guy who's being cheated on. Seems fitting for a Kamala thing.
Yeah, well, there's that. Dedicated to Willie Brown.
Called my old lady for a friendly word. Picked up the phone, dropped it on the floor. Sex is all I heard. That's actually how the lyrics read if you read them in the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
He says in the song, but sex is what it says. It was a little too on the nose, but it was how he sang it and how fucking sad it was. That is a upbeat pop song, and he was singing it like a jazz pianist at a fucking cocktail bar.
The Suicide Lounge in Canada.
Yeah. Anyhow, you said you had a couple of articles here.
Yeah.
Sorry, as a Prince fan, I had to bring that up because how dare you?
It's insulting to Prince's undoubtedly better performance.
Yeah, I don't even care that they're doing Prince songs. It's Minneapolis, blah, blah, blah. But come on, get somebody in there that's, got balls.
No, they got to keep it subdued for all the old people that still think they're young and hip.
I read an article the other day that for some reason was talking about Prince. And they said that the song 1999 said it was a very political song because it was talking about how the world was going to end. And if it didn't, we'd have a big party. And I'm like, you could not have missed the message more if you tried.
Yeah.
It was that the world is going to end, so we're going to have a big party.
Yeah. I mean, get it right.
Fuck. All right. Oh my. How the fuck do you queer nuclear weapons?
I've been sitting on this one for a few days, buddy.
Are they using them for like a butt plug?
The gay bomb.
Biden-Harris Department of Energy official calls for queering nuclear weapons as part of radical DEI agenda. Biden-Harris official says queer theory is also about rejecting the tenet that nuclear deterrence creates security and disarmament creates vulnerability. I hate to be this guy, but you should really talk to Vladimir Zelensky.
Right?
Disarmament doesn't cause vulnerability. Really?
You won't know how vulnerable you are until you open your heart. Yes, the mushroom cloud is a rainbow. Dangerous.
A recent hire at the nuclear security wing of the Department of Energy wasn't the suitcase stealer, didn't he work there too?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was in charge of getting rid of like nuclear waste or something.
Has previously called for disarmament policies which reduce or eliminate nukes, arguing that advancing queer theory was essential to the agenda as well as important to America's. All right. If you want to make the argument about national security, I love the movie Amazing Grace and Chuck. But how the fuck does it in any way relate to queer theory?
I don't know.
The Biden-Harris administration announced Sneha Nair had been appointed as special assistant at the National Nuclear Security Administration in February. Nair believes in eradicating purported white supremacy in the nuclear field, as well as queering nuclear weapons as part of a diversity, equity, and inclusion push she believes is essential to deterring threats to nuclear agency facilities in the U.S.
See, the problem with mushroom clouds is they don't have enough sparkles.
This is a quote. Finally, queer theory informs the struggle for nuclear justice and disarmament. Queer theory helps to shift the perception of nuclear weapons at how?
You know, these articles wouldn't be so painful if you would just take them every, so often. Instead, I got to pile them up, and then, you feel miserable.
This would be fucking retarded no matter how often. We could read this every day for the next year, and at the end of 365 days, it'll be just as fucking painful.
I know. I'm just trying to make you feel a little bit better.
Queer theory helps shift the perception of nuclear. See, this is that voice change that happens when I read this shit.
I know.
Nuclear weapons as instruments for security by telling the hidden stories of displacement, illness, and trauma caused by their production and testing.
Yeah, I was going to look for some video of this lady talking because I bet she's got a TEDx or something out there. But I got super lazy and just stuck with the article.
Does anybody think that being around a nuclear explosion is good. Did you need some gay person to come in and say, no, it's actually pretty bad? I didn't need that.
Said it was cool.
This is the problem with this nonsense, is it has to be about everything. Before she joined the administration, she worked at the Stimson Institute, which has received hundreds of thousands of Soros's Open Society Foundation and millions from the Embassy of the State of Qatar over the years, Fox News Digital found in their funding. Stimson and the Department of Energy were contacted and didn't respond. Nair believes that without a DEI agenda, the workforce of a nuclear security facility is at risk for becoming, fuck you, insider threats, she said in an article in 2023. By understanding diversity, inclusion, and fuck all as a set of values critical to secure. Hey, Jack.
Okay.
Do you remember that picture of Donald Trump standing up with his arm in the air and blood coming off his face?
Yeah.
You remember the woman protecting his armpit?
Yes.
All right. DEI is a set of values critical to security, and therefore, do you remember the recent story about the Secret Service agent who left her post to go let her baby suckle on her titty?
Yeah.
Without a DEI agenda, the workforce of nuclear security facilities is at risk from inside threats. Understanding the values is critical to security, therefore, is an element of effective nuclear security culture. Stakeholders can explore how DEI can contribute to stronger security at facilities. Collectively, these principles can work to mitigate counterproductive work behavior.
Yeah, see, there's too much whiteness and straightness in nuclear security. So what we have to do is paint those cooling towers to look like wieners and have a bunch of drag queens running the control panels. And then all will be right with the world.
By embracing DEI, they can mitigate counterproductive work behavior and prevent disgruntled employees from becoming insider threats, she claimed. Nair explicitly says that bolstering DEI is a national security matter. It is a national security matter, but not the way you mean it. DEI principles and advancement must be considered crucial assets for strengthening nuclear security implementation. No, dumbass. When you start limiting things based on color and sex and whose luggage you steal, the actual best people for the job don't get. How many people have stolen nuclear reactors and blown shit up? Yep.
Chernobyl?
That many. Good God. This is fuck, man. These people are retarded, Jack. They're just retarded.
I know. And every time an article like this comes up, I think more and more, why haven't we been invaded yet?
This house reminds me of a picture I saw earlier today. Over on Ralph's feed, Fugi had put out something. Apparently, Ralph is doxing people now.
Yeah.
Report: tax-funded group offering $30,000 for non-citizen homebuyers in Oregon. Sure, why not? A taxpayer-funded development group is reportedly offering $30,000 for a down payment to non-citizens in Oregon. American citizens need not apply. On Wednesday, the Daily Caller reported that Hacienda Community Development, Hacienda should be the giveaway there, guys. It doesn't say house. When they put Spanish in the title, pay attention. Is doling out the benefits for new migrant home buyers through the group's Camino a Casa program. What is Camino? I know what a casa, that's home.
Camino is a car.
That's an El Camino?
Whatever.
But what does Camino mean? Hey, Spanish speakers, what does that mean? It's something to house program.
Means path or trail, or generally way.
Trail to a home program. Okay, I get it.
So if you have an El Camino, that is the way.
That is the way.
So, yeah. So I guess the Mandalorian drives an El Camino.
Clients work closely with financial coaches and HUD-certified housing counselors throughout the entirety of the home buying process, the program website reads. Why are we doing this for illegals non-citizens? Because they didn't say illegals. I need to be careful there.
Fuck citizens. Right?
True, I guess.
Yeah, it's working in Europe real well.
In addition to mortgage readiness and financial fitness workshops, we provide various opportunities for down payment assistance. I mean, look, just non-citizen, we really, this is one of the cases, it does make sense. Be careful making sure that you're not saying illegals here. There's a lot of non-citizens who live legally in the United States, and I don't necessarily have a problem with them buying a home, but if our federal government is going to be giving money to people to help them buy homes, I'd prefer it be citizens first.
Yeah, or at least resident aliens. But I do have a problem with this because of mission creep. You know it's going to go to illegal immigrants.
Oh, sure.
And they're going to get caught doing that, but no, nothing bad's going to happen to anybody. And they're just going to favor the illegals over regular citizens, just to be spiteful.
They get money from the state of Oregon and the feds that they're spending on this shit. We all pay taxes for non-citizens to use. Again, just being non-citizens, I don't have a huge problem. But like Jack said, it's eventually going to leak in. I mean, I talked about DACA earlier. I don't remember if I did it on the show. I know I was doing it on Twitter. But when DACA is passed, there's a cutoff date. You remember that, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't passed, signed, I should say, when Obama said, no, you guys don't kick out those illegals anymore. There was a cutoff date on it. If you hadn't been in the country already by this date, and what's happened since then? It's all any kid that comes in illegally, that's a dreamer. Fuck them. Citizens first. LOL. Even Ireland has you beat. We give refugees houses before citizens and for free. Yeah. And look, it's why I'm trying to make sure that I put a separation there and explain that I don't have a problem with certain things, but American citizens should come first, if for no other reason. It's our fucking money.
Yeah.
No, immigrants pay taxes too. Sure, some. But I guarantee you that if you took just the money they pay and used that for programs for them, they'd be like, we need more money. Just saying.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
No, they buy stuff. Shut up. I'm tired of hearing that line. They pay taxes to fuck off. Maybe they should go to their home country and pay them.
They can't parasitically leech off the system there.
Oh, dear God, we have a freak.
Yes, this is a Frosted article I told you about.
This was published in New Earth Conscious. Fuck me. If the headline didn't give it away that this lady's insane, that part did.
Yeah, thank you, Frosted.
What my guides say about Kamala. Fuck. I'm glad to know that the spirit realm is out there worried about American politics.
Well, it matters, you know.
Double Fruit, thank you. This reminds me, I heard a black female veteran was upset as she was selling her food truck because of money problems. A border crosser came in with a blank check from the government to buy the truck. She asked why she wasn't helped. That's actually a really excellent example of how our government is working right now.
Yeah, it's a legitimate question to ask too, because this is your money going to people that you know nothing about, whose intentions you know nothing about. Yeah, don't even get me started on the rant today. It's just, this is raging.
A look at the wave of the future in American politics and the world. This is from Jocelyn Joy Thomas. Is that a dude? It's hard to tell with that little tiny picture. Dudes don't usually choose a name like Jocelyn when they become chicks.
I rule nothing out.
It's usually something cute. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Amber.
Chastity.
No, you're not. For some time, it's been rough being an American.
Yeah, with all these Democrats in charge for the past 15 years.
Look, guys, it's rough from where we were, but 99.9% of Americans don't have it rough.
No, it could get way worse.
Long gone was the unity Americans felt after 9/11. That shit lasted like a week.
Yeah, if that.
It lasted so short. If you watch the first South Park after 9/11, they even mention it in there, which was what, like, I think a month or two after 9/11. It's one of the first shows that went back to new episodes.
Yeah.
And yeah, they even mention it in there. Everybody likes to pretend that it was just one great big love fest after that. That shit lasted like a week. Anyway, long gone was the unity Americans felt from 9/11, where most people felt comfortable placing an American flag in their window, car, or if they have one, their lawn. Okay. If we've been through two unpopular war, or we have been through two unpopular wars, fuck me, unprecedented shootings, and a president who caused such upheaval that it encouraged the most unhinged elements of society to come out of hiding. It's time for a change. Joe Biden graciously stepping aside for Kamala to run for president. There was nothing gracious about him stepping aside.
Well, I guess shoving an old man off the stage is kind of gracious somehow.
Gives us the opportunity for change. We Americans have a chance to shine again. All we need to do is blow up two major buildings in downtown New York. There's a wave. Sorry. There's a wave of hope that has not been present in a very long time in America. See, and this is where I'm going to have to stop and say this again. One of the things that Trump brought that these people don't understand is that he brought back hope. Grisilla, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining, buddy.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry. We had 8 years of Obama. And a lot of it was America sucks. Everything sucks. You guys, it wasn't the economics of the Carter years, but it was the mentality of it.
Yeah.
And like when Reagan comes in, when Trump comes in, there is a feeling of everything's going to get better. And that was even with the media 100% of the time going, Donald Trump's going to kill you. And it's something that these people just don't get because they want to be controlled by their daddy.
Yeah, well, they're unhappy people and they hate the country. So
when I have questions, I ask my guides, the archangels.
Like you do.
Today, I'm asking them about Kamala Harris. Why is there Why is there a comma there?
Why not? Why not? It's a free comma. Didn't cost them nothing. It's free. Free comma, monkey.
Because that's not how you would use. I get what they were doing there, but that's not how you use that.
No, that comma is a little bonus. You save that one for later. And you can use it however you want.
Thank you, Dangerous. We had a president cause the most unhinged elements of society to come out of hiding. I 100% agree with this author. I feel like we mean different things, though. That is true. Absolutely true. All right, so today I'm asking them about Kamala. That, Jack, the importance of commas. I'm helping my Uncle Jack off a horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Commas are important, but don't just throw them in willy-nilly, guys. Is it finally time for America to elect a woman president? Oh, and she's doing this like a interview.
With her spirit guides, yeah.
We are happy to speak with you on this topic. Yes,
you want me to take a part here?
If you want to.
I mean, I don't know if you wanted to play this one up or not.
No, I was just making fun of her.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a given.
Yes, it's time, and yes, it can happen. Shouldn't they know whether it's gonna happen?
Well, look, archangels aren't God.
So these are spiritual beings who can read the newspaper?
Yes, like you do when you're an archangel. Michael and Gabriel, they're just sitting around reading the New York Times.
It is important to allow women to reach the upper echelons of society. I can say echelon. I could never spell it. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I
me either.
hate the French. I don't know if that word is French, but it looks French.
I blame the French.
It brings balance and
to the force. Oh, wait.
Balance and insight that are not possible otherwise. There is a need for women in all areas of life, free of restrictions. You are the generation, all of you alive today, not divided by generational titles, who can make this happen in America. Many of you are old souls. Remember living in the societies where there was either a matriarchal system or at least a balanced system, and so you have the sense that this is more fitting way for things to be, and indeed it is. Hey, just curious, in those matriarchal societies, how come they didn't last?
You know why.
How come they were so great at what they were doing that you have to go digging to try to find who they are, and they don't actually exist?
Yeah, because they never made it past mud huts, and then before some man came along and improved their lives. Oops,
Even
I said that out loud.
There's one that these people love to point to. It's like, men do all the hard work, but women tell them what to do. Like, well, that's not really different than here. They just make it official there.
Yeah, they just enshrined it in some rules. So you're a culture of nagging. Great.
Yeah. And in those societies, if those guys ever are like, no, the women are fucked because they can't do the heavy lifting and the hunting. Whoopsie. And you'll also notice all of them are like old school tribal, like we don't know how to make a wheel tribal.
Yeah, they're all pre-industrial of any sort. Mud huts, dude. Mud huts.
This is the question to the guide. It feels like
feelings, nothing more.
It feels like I try really hard not to say feel when I mean think, because I do believe that is a big problem in America.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because people are caught up in their feelings too much.
Yep. And you're not supposed to question feelings.
Oh, how dare you? That's my truth.
It feels like Kamala's the right person at the right time. Are we seeing divine timing in action? I really wish that this person was writing when Hillary ran, because I bet you they'd ask the same thing.
Well, the fact that this is archived does make me hope that Trump wins, just so they could throw it in this woman's face, be like, "Your archangels lied to you, bitch."
This is the answer from the archangel. Kamala Harris comes with the purpose of unifying, leading, and defending those in her care from injustice and unfairness. Oh, just those in her care, Jack. That's why she didn't care about the wife that she was, cheating on somebody's husband with. Sorry, I said that wrong. The husband who she was cheating on somebody with. She's the perfect candidate for the... Fuck. Jack, I'm going to have to write about my spirit guides.
Oh, yeah. You should totally... I'm surprised Frosted doesn't have his own, mocking medium site, because he should. Frosted, get some free time in your calendar and just make one of these. I bet it would be super successful on Medium. Both of you should do it. You could collab then.
She's the perfect candidate for the job, and divine timing is at play. With Kamala in office, there will be a shift in how things in America are done. Well, that part's true. If she gets in charge, we're fucked. Healing has taken place and more is needed. Trust needs to be rebuilt. Rebuilding trust is started, but more must be done. This is somebody who paid attention to the criticism that Kamala's out there talking about how much stuff sucks when it comes from her and Joe. Yeah. It came from Joe, but she was along for the ride.
Yeah, she didn't do anything.
The pandemic and the president you had during the time created chaos. Yeah, I agree. Biden was shit. But that chaos had a purpose to undo things, make them topsy-turvy so there could be a new direction.
Wait, undo things so we are unburdened by what has been?
Yes.
How prescient.
If you throw all the cards in the air, you have no choice but to pick them up and begin again. No, you could leave them on the floor.
Why are these angels gambling?
I don't know.
Seems a bit weird.
This is what Kamala represents: a fresh path, a new way, a new day. Then why is she repeating 100-year-old commie talking points?
Because her dad was a commie.
All right. Excuse me.
Frosted makes a good point. Trump may have RFK's endorsement, but does he have the endorsement of the forces of heaven itself?
I would say yes, considering the witches tried to kill him and it didn't work.
That's true. Well, that was the other team downstairs. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Pat. How you doing, my friend? All right, back to this. Here's a new question. We've seen so much clashing between the old and new. Can America, led by Kamala, lead a new wave for American politics and the world? All right. I was really hoping for some more new agey shit. Like, does Kamala's chakra smell of used vagina?
Oh, monkey. That's
what?
A bunch of witchcraft, new age shit. Come on, man. That stuff's not real. Not like her spirit guides from, heaven.
Fucking archangels, man. She can be the catalyst for this, yes. For the past 4 years, you've been treading water. All right. Making strides, but also needing to heal. Wait, you don't really make strides when you're treading water.
What you do if you walk on water,
I guess. But also needing to heal. You cannot run a marathon if you are healing a broken ankle.
I mean, you could try.
Now you're on the mend. I mean, fucking Donovan McNabb won a football game with a broken whatever that big bone is in your leg.
Like the femur or something?
Not the femur, the lower one, that front bone on your shin or on your calf.
That's
motherfucker cracked that in a football game and kept playing and won.
Fuck that.
Man, I bang mine on the wall and I'm down for the day.
Right?
Now you're on the mend and you can take action that are bigger and bolder. Kami. With that, the new wave takes hold and becomes something you can build on, rely on, and make a new life with. What the fuck kind of retarded shit is this?
Well, Frosted sent it to us, so.
It's almost like listening to Kamala speak. It's meaningless.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of meaningless platitudes here of hope and change, and joy and fun. Joy and fun are the new buzzwords, and they're really lame. So that's what I'm getting.
Look, I wasn't expecting a lot from this, but even for new agey nonsense, this is just fluffy nonsense.
Yeah, it's filler space.
Anyway, it takes all of you. No one can be complacent now. Follow your joy, compassion, and love. Follow what makes you feel free. You need to be a little vaguer. There's a lot of people who want to touch kids. Help others do the same. Again, see before. Helping each other, caring about your country, caring about your communities. Once again, Democrats touching kids. Be careful. America is growing up.
Is it?
Eat me. We literally have a campaign being run like it's a fucking high school popularity contest. You guys are so grown now, say the angels.
You're all big boys and girls.
I only listen to 7 Spanish angels.
Well, I mean, those 7 Spanish angels might be your spirit guides, Monkey.
America's growing up into the leadership role it has had for some time, but now it must be done with grace, dignity, and fairness. Kamala has those attributes. Wait. You said fairness. You might want to look up Kamala. I'm just throwing that out there.
What? Are you saying she has something in her past that may contradict what the spirits are telling us?
A little bit, yeah. Apparently they missed one of the articles when they were reading the paper. It's why she's incarnated. She can hold a vision and make it reality. I can make you come. She can bring the country through to a new reality. We angels care about the direction of your country and the world. It's time for each of you to take note and do what you can to bring this new day into being. Sure. This is actually tagged spirituality. Wow. Wow.
You know what's fucked up is that's not even the dumbest thing we've ever read on here.
It's not. But it's time for the big question, because I do believe in asking the big questions. Does she believe she talks to angels?
I'm going with yes.
I'm kind of torn here, because that wasn't as crazy as I would expect from somebody who thinks they talk to angels.
Yeah, but you know, some of them have a certain amount of grounding. I mean, so it's kind of hard to tell.
That almost read like the Kamala campaign was trying to reach out to Wiccans.
They're going the influencer route.
Yeah, and instead of going brat, they're going hex, you know?
Well, you know, something different.
Yeah. I want to end on this, Jack. I was talking with Fugi. This is all out there in the open, so I'm not. It's on Twitter. There's a lot of people who are upset about the way Twitter works right now, and how larger accounts get more attention than smaller accounts, to the point where right now smaller accounts getting any real traction is almost impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. But you actually have to go out there and work at it. The days of accidentally getting noticed on Twitter are mostly gone. And it really started with the monetization, because people are now incentivized, if you are a bigger creator or influencer in this case, to only interact with other bigger influencers, because the algorithm looks for the most attention it can get. Now, Elon has said he's looking into this and that they're actually looking to incentivize these guys to interact with smaller people. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the people who are mad about the blue check mark specifically, because they think that the blue check mark is what's helping people get ahead, and it's just not true. And this really doesn't have anything to do with Twitter or any of that. Right now, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people with blue check marks. They don't all have 100 or even 100,000 or 1 million followers. And it made me think of something that a lot of people need to learn. The blue check mark will hold you back if you don't have one, Jack, but you can still get around it. The blue check mark isn't the problem. It's the algorithm and how it works. And if you want to get ahead, you have to learn that. But we as a people, and this is where we're going to get more general in what I wanted to talk about, we look for the easy answer.
Yeah.
And especially when we're frustrated or angry, we lash out at that thing and we grab onto it and we hold it. This is the problem. When the real problem is something entirely different. The issue there is that there's an algorithm, and that if you want to win, you have to know how to work the algorithm. It's not the blue check mark.
Wait, are you telling me that if I want to get ahead in life, I have to actually do work?
It depends on what you're doing, but mostly yes.
It's so unfair, Monkey. You know, I
When I got
deserve to be successful.
It's not even just about that. I get what you're saying, but it's not just about that. It's that people focus on the wrong question too often. And we run into this in politics all the time. Like the problem with the southern border. It's very easy to put all of that on Joe Biden and how bad that has been. But the underlying problem isn't that. Like, we need comprehensive immigration reform. Do we? Or are we just not doing what's already on the books and haven't been for decades? The real question there isn't, do we need reform? The real question is, why aren't we doing what's already there? And it's so easy to get people pissed off about the wrong thing. And we do it in our own lives too. I used to see this all the time when doing evals and stuff for people, and being like, okay, this is where you're not doing very well. I'm like, but Tom doesn't do it well either. Like, but we're not talking about Tom. Nobody's out there. My job is to evaluate whether you're doing it. Are you doing it? But Tom's not. Tom's not the problem. You are. If you were doing it, then what Tom does wouldn't matter. We're so quick to try to find something to blame, when in reality, most of the time, it's us. So I want to encourage everybody, when you have problems, by all means, get angry, get upset, have your moment, and then calm down and look for the real problem, because that's how you solve it.
But I want success now. I deserve to be famous.
This goes whether you're talking about social media, your regular job, your personal relationships. We have far more control than we want to believe, but we always want to put it on something else. Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Taking responsibility is super difficult, though, Monkey.
And that's the key word there, is responsibility. It's so hard.
I don't want to do that. Oh,
it's so hard to look at ourselves and say, yeah, I'm the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all too well. Unfortunately, that is a massive problem in society today. And it doesn't look like it's getting any better because people aren't held to account.
Yeah. You stop comparing yourself to others. And it's okay to look at other people and see what they have, but instead of being envious, be envious. But then look at how you get it yourself instead of just being like, well, I can't do it.
Yeah, you're not owed something just because somebody else has it.
Yeah. Jealousy, if used properly, can be a hell of a motivator. I've done a lot of things in my life, Jack, just to show people, fuck you, I am that good. I am better than you. I told you. But again, we're so almost willing to let we act like we have no control over anything.
Well, that's what people are told nowadays.
For the record, except for explaining the situation that led to my thinking, none of this is directed at Fugi. But it is how people seem to be, and you got to be much more honest about it than that if you want to get ahead. Check out Mike Harlow's DNC coverage. I was on 2 of the streams. Oh, cool, Dangerous.
Nice.
I don't want to be famous. I like a quiet life, and that's fine too. This is all in regards to what you want. You know, if you want to get ahead at work, right? Let's say you work a 9 to 5 and there's a promotion coming up and you want it and you don't get it. There's 2 ways you can look at it. I got screwed, or how can I get it next time?
Yeah. If you don't learn from your mistakes and you just give up, you're never going to succeed.
I didn't go higher at Walmart, Jack, because I was an asshole to the managers. I was great at my job. They always called me for the biggest things they wanted done, but they wouldn't promote me, and they were right not to. Because I was the problem. I didn't play the game, and we don't like it. A lot of us, and I'm including myself in this, want to be better than the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be in that system, though. I would never kiss my boss's ass. Well, then you're going to lose. Especially if you have a boss who likes to have his ass kissed. Good luck staying where you are. But that idiot over there who doesn't work as good as you do is going to get promoted because he plays the game.
Yeah.
But it's always pointing at something else. And you know what? If there is somebody like that, that's happened to me, Jack, so many times, where somebody gets promoted and it's like, if I'd have just played the game, I'd have been there.
Yep.
And it's easy to pat myself on the back for my principles. I didn't kiss anyone's ass.
Well, sometimes playing the game
that pays
sucks.
The bills.
Right? Yeah, playing the game can suck ass, but you know, it depends what you want. Do you want to do that in the corporate world and get ahead? Or do you want to do it on Twitter or YouTube or wherever? You've got to play within the bounds that they set, or you're not going to make it.
You're not talking literal ass kissing, right, Mike? No, I mean, if that was what was asked, you just sue them because that's sexual harassment.
Yeah, and Ralph would be a way bigger streamer.
I despise ass kissers. Well, that's another. I mean, just the term ass kisser is kind of nebulous itself. There are people who get called ass kissers who aren't. They're just not dickheads to the boss.
Yeah, which that can work too. It depends on the people around you, but some people like to have their balls cupped a little too much. And if you're not doing it just right, you're never getting ahead at that place. So you might as well go somewhere else.
I think we have a problem where people don't even really know what they want, and they see something and they just expect it handed to them.
Yep.
And you can't be like that. We've got to get back to hard work mattering. And hard work is relative. I mean, I did a lot of work when I started on YouTube that set me up for what success I've had here. I got the Bearing shout out, Jack, but without the study that I had put in on how to work the algorithm and making sure I had a back catalog, there's plenty of people he shouted out that never got an audience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that flamed out real quick because they didn't produce content on a regular basis. And that's one of the... YouTube is a great example of where meritocracy actually can work for you, because you have to have a work ethic to be even remotely successful on YouTube. Like, having that back catalog really does matter. That's where your view hours come from.
Common Kitty says, my last job overlooked me and another person for a new person. Same person took another position I had been working on. After that, I left, and I'm in a much better place. Sometimes leave to succeed. True. But again, that has to be something where you ask yourself, what do I want? And there will be times you run into a wall.
Well, yeah, but you have to decide, is it worth staying at this place so I can maintain where I'm at, or do I have a better chance somewhere else? And that is not an easy decision to make, because going outside your comfort zone is very, very scary for most people.
I think there's a deeper reason for Monkey and Jack going into Dr. Phil mode. No, occasionally I do this because I am what they call wise. Jack, you know how you get wise?
No, I am not wise.
You learn from your own mistakes and mistakes of people around you.
Yeah, see, I don't do that. I just watch what other people do and
wait.
Tell them they're
being
wrong.
Being wise doesn't mean you act with wisdom. Those are two entirely different things.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
I can sit there and show you where you're fucking up, and I will do the same fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That my favorite is women that analyze other people's relationships and then make all those same mistakes.
Yep.
Like, oh, my boyfriend's better than yours, but you should leave him. He's a 0. And their boyfriend's unemployed, smoking weed and playing video games all day. Yeah.
I've told several bosses to go fuck themselves instantly. I've never done that. I was polite in my rudeness, because I can be polite and tell you to go fuck yourself, and you'll be like, oh, thank you. I tried to do it, as respectfully as I could. But I mean, the reason I never made it as a manager at that store is because I didn't play the game. And that didn't hurt anybody but me, Jack.
Yeah. Well, at least it's a victimless crime. You're only hurting yourself.
Our manager, when I left the store, just recently left the store. He'd been there for that long.
Wow.
And the store, it used to be the promotion store. You wanted to be a store manager at our store because everyone who had either went to a much bigger market, which means more money, or became a district manager, which means a lot more money.
Yeah.
And this dude just kind of settled into that place for over a decade. I did not like that prick. He was one of those people who will talk to you and be all nice to your face.
Yeah.
And yet then fired me.
Huh.
Yeah. And when I called him to talk about how fucked up it was, like, nah, fuck you. Like, all right, I'll call you your boss. Which is exactly what I did, and I got my job back. Go
ahead. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Why can't I think I got screwed and try harder? Start to play the game so you can screw the people that screwed you. Spite can be a wonderful motivator. I agree with that. It doesn't always work out very well in the long term, but spite is definitely a motivator.
Spite is a wonderful motivator.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of it. Spite really has driven a lot of whatever successes I've had in life. A bad boss is what inadvertently led me doing my journalism degree.
Oh,
never mind. I was going to ask, how'd the boss do that? But that seems like it'd take a long time to type out. I have a comic series in mind where I connect carnival prize and cemetery trees. It's a pair of demon hunters still working on the name. I'd like to have a chat with you about it, Jack.
Oh, yeah. Hit me up in DMs, dude. I'll give you whatever assistance I can, which will be limited because I'm an idiot. So
I got a C in cooking class after the professor ate 2 servings of my dish, one of which was mine. What, like for your lunch, and he ate it anyway? Tried to change jobs and the other job fell through. Oh, okay. My biggest problem when it came to Walmart is not just kissing ass being something I'm violently opposed to, but being complacent where I was, Jack.
mm-hmm.
If I had been more motivated to get ahead, I would have played the game. I can schmooze with the best of them.
Yeah, complacency is really the killer of advancement. I got this buddy that he sometimes listens to the show. He's a big lefty, but he's been at the same job for about 10 years. And he bitches about it every time I talk to him, but he does almost nothing to change positions. Although he did learn stage hypnosis, so I guess that's something.
Well, one of the things that I said to Fugi that was said in private, but I said it, so I don't mind, is that when I came to YouTube, I did a lot of stuff, but there was a lot more I could have done. And like right now, there's a lot more I should be doing. And the failing, look, it in a perfect world, we're much bigger than we should be because we're more entertaining than Tim Pool by a long shot.
Yeah, we're better.
But the truth is, he plays the game much more than I do.
Yeah. He makes the little clips and stuff like that, but it is what it is. Look, there's a lot of stuff we can't do, or you can't physically do, that sort of thing. Plus, if we showed our faces, it would just be too much handsome on the screen.
That's true.
And I think that might break YouTube.
Imagine if you had a schedule. If we had a schedule, I mean, it wouldn't be that much different. We tend to pull the same audience no matter when we stream. It would be helpful, but if you go back and look at the Lords of the Night streams, we have more viewers on a regular basis here than we ever did there.
Yeah.
Morning, baby. I love you.
But you rubbing it in that you're married and happy. God. I'm going to say hello to the owl, okay?
Tomorrow is my 31st wedding anniversary.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I've been married a long time. I got gray pubes, y'all. That's not true.
I don't want to know that.
I don't know if I have gray pubes or not. I should look. How many of y'all got gray pubes?
Ew.
Do you remember when you found out pubes could turn gray?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things you never think about until somebody brings it up, and then it's in your head for the rest of your life. Speaking of which, I saw a meme today that said I was this old, one of those things, when I found out. I was today old when I found out. And it was about the fact that the Golden Girls had a dick-shaped cake pan hanging on their wall. And they had a picture with it. I'm like, oh, but that could be fake. So I went and looked it up. And if you go look up a picture of the set of the Golden Girls, on the right-hand side of the kitchen, hanging on the wall, is a dick pan.
That must have been Blanche's.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. We really do appreciate it. Oh, speaking of that, hang on. Got one coming through right now, Jack.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for that feminist donation, $12. Kitty, thank you. Oh, hey, Monk reminded me I got 2 nickels now from situation from lesbian couples saying they aren't pregnant and a positive pregnancy test. Get Lady Monkey something nice, by the way. Thank you for the donation. I am confused by the rest of that, though. Got 2 nickels now from situations from lesbian couples saying they aren't pregnant and a positive pregnancy test.
If I had a nickel every time.
Oh, got it. Okay. Wait, how'd they get pregnant?
How do you think they got pregnant? The penis.
Oh, I was going with the Force.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's on Star Wars for sure.
Cheating. Yeah, that would do it. That would definitely do it. In fact, it's short of toilet-borne bastards. There's not many other ways for it to happen. Turkey baster, yeah, that's one of them. Standing on the wrong street in San Francisco, I guess it could happen. But anyway, thank you so much for the donations and hanging out with us and all the support. You guys are awesome. Jack, anything on the show?
I dropped a link already. Thank you guys. Like Monkey said, the support makes all the difference. It keeps the show going, keeps us fed. And I'm fat, so I need as much food as I can get. But thank you all for coming out and watching the show. You guys are awesome. Remember, don't leave until Monkey sings, and hit the like button, share around, whatever. You guys are great. Best audience on the internet.
Mofo a little while ago said, I like Bering, but I like Miss Sugar Tits more. She's fucking hilarious. I don't know how much you watch of Bering, but I really love the ones that he's done recently where he'll talk about a subject that she's not familiar with. They sit down and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
And her reactions to some of the topics are wonderful.
Oh, she's funny as shit, man.
She is funny as hell. Yeah, both of them are. I love them to death.
Yeah, they're great. And they're super nice, too.
They really are. Really down-to-earth folks.
Yeah, it's weird because usually, on the internet, people are like fake nice, but they're actually nice people.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care of yourselves. I love you, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I don't want to sing, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave right in the middle of what I